Hello, y'all. It's Lisa State here of my YouTube channels of Lisa State and Hitler Obsessed, here to tell you about part 3 on my review of the 1997 animated film by 20th Century Fox of Anastasia. I know many people like to confuse it as being part of Disney, and no, it's not originally from Disney. I'm sorry to tell you that, but Mickey Mouse is the reason why, because of Mickey Mouse's and Walt Disney and Disney's monopolization of everything. I'm sorry, 20th Century Fox and Anastasia 1997 film used to be its own thing. Now you can watch it on Disney Plus somehow. Yay, corporatism, I guess. Yay. Um, but uh, in the scene where Anastasia does hit her head, while losing her grasp onto the Dow Jumper's Marie's hand at the St. Petersburg train station there, as she's fleeing to a palace in Paris. Yes, the movie Anastasia does get told by her grandmother that she would go to Paris. And yes, that's something Anastasia's grandmother, the Dowager Empress Marie, wanted to let her see her palace in Paris. She had several of them. One in the Crimea, but around the Russian Revolution. Uh, the Dowager Empress Marie does move first to her palace in the Crimea, I think by train or boat, and then by, I think it's boat or train, straight to her palace. I think not in Paris, but to flee and live as a refugee and under care of the Denmark's king there in his palace there at the time till her death in 1929. And for this woman would be sad and thinking her daughter would turn up and her granddaughter Anastasia would turn up and sent actually from the movie. This is based off of fact. $5,000 rubles of world money, and a lot of people turned up as con artists claiming they were Anastasia, or they had an Anastasia, and she never believed him, even when another woman that's very famous for claiming she's Anastasia, of Anya Anderson, uh, was another woman who claimed she was Anastasia. There's a lot of books of this, but it was found out after Anna Anderson died that she was not Anastasia but DNA tests of her own bones. Which this woman actually was never interviewed by the Grand Duchess and claimed that the Romanov family pretty much silenced her and how she was miserable and sad and stuff. And maybe she didn't realize that the Romanovs realized that Anastasia's incoming and let the Dowager Empress enjoy her little hope for the granddaughter to turn up, that she would never turn up because she was massacred by the Bolsheviks. But this woman actually did convince not only a lot of aristocrats when she fled to Germany, though, which she was originally most likely probably a Polish factory worker. This was found out and done in a full-blown investigation during the Third Reich and several other times during the Weimar Republic in Germany, and definitely by the SS, the Nazis in the Third Reich. And she fooled everyone in the Third Reich better than Hitler could. Uh, she even fooled Adolf Hitler at a personal meeting with her that she was Anastasia. Let that sink in. Hitler, a very, very good, manipulative, charismatic guy that could get you to believe anything. I swear, if Hitler was in this room and told me, uh, you're gonna be great, you're gonna be Stan Musiski's placement, chances are he could convince me to do that. This woman convinced Hitler that she was Anastasia. Oh, and she also showed Hitler's anti-Semitism, even though she is Polish, so. But she believed she was part of Russian superiority, because the Russians and Tsar Nicholas's court believed that the whole anti-Semitism thing, but the own version of, I guess, Hitler's Aryan master race, instead of it being the Germans, would have been like, the superior Russians, or I guess maybe Slavs, I guess, superior Slavs, that Slav squad, and do the tiki and the hot bass, and that comes later on. That comes later on, so I actually watch a lot of Life of Bulls out there, so, uh, let him get blood get. Uh, to give a bit of a backstory on the Anna Anderson, but she does have this. She did make, I guess you could call it a conspiracy theory or a claim that she was Anastasia, and since Anastasia was a late teenager or very early adult, I guess to say, put that around the whole age. She did claim she was not hurt or injured too much by the bullets from the firing squad of the Bolsheviks that massacred the Romanovs in the House of Special Purpose there in 1918. Because of the sewn in Romanov jewels they had sewn into their clothing, they actually did that. They actually had the family members of the Romanovs sewing the crown jewels or family jewels in their clothing so that they wouldn't get stolen or whatever. Yeah, but yet Anastasia was somehow, I guess, found out to be alive and hit in the head by one of the Bolsheviks' soldiers of the firing squad with the butt of his rifle. She was knocked unconscious. Now, she eventually was woken up by some random Russian guy trying to flee. And they fled first to, I guess it was Czechoslovakia in Prague. And she got pregnant and married this guy, became a Catholic, and uh, she was eventually had her kid taken away as an orphan in Czechoslovakia, and I guess it went on to Poland and then to Berlin, which when they attended or uh, booked a room, a suite in a Berlin hotel in Germany, her new husband of Anna Anderson. Uh, I guess changed her name from Anastasia to, I guess, something else before Anna Anderson. Just pretty much walked off to go do something. Just probably just abandoned hope because the baby daddy he was probably. Uh, and how she ended up wandering off, was still going through her amnesia and head trauma. Took a rifle butt to the head. Uh, which is interesting because that kind of incident does happen in the movie, except that was Anastasia. Dmitri ends up being the one, the little servant boy in the movie, takes the rifle butt from a Russian revolutionary soldier after being asked where the family members went, where Anastasia and the grandmother went to after he let them flee from the palace through the secret passageway. Which is another interesting fact I'll put in here, I forgot in the last video, is that Tsar Nicholas II as a kid really did use these passageways, know about them, and he'd run around with his brothers and stuff. Just something fun they would do around the palace to spend time, back before kids, I guess would have the little iPhone or the Xbox or GameCube. I know I lived through the 90s, no Game Boy Color or the Game Boy, I guess, or little an iPad now. Uh, so yeah, that's the whole kind of interesting thing. I wonder if that's from the Anderson claims to be an Anastasia. But the woman does uh refer to her she does end up wandering around Berlin when she's left by the husband, the baby daddy, guy who dumped her. Wandering around the streets of Berlin, tries to jump off a bridge, but ends up being saved by a German police officer and sent to several insane asylums. And pretty much interesting thing here also when Anastasia in the movie is found around the streets of St. Petersburg and raised in a orphanage. They think she's crazy insane as a nobody girl who thinks she's the Queen of Sheba, to use a reference from the movie, by the owner of the orphanage. Uh, which is another reference, I guess, probably to the Anna Anderson being in several mental hospitals. Because they didn't know who this woman was, so that's where they would send you, I guess, back then. So, that's all future time travelers. Don't get amnesia. Don't get amnesia if you don't want to be in a padded cell. Sad back then. Double history. Okay. So the next scene in the movie is of St. Petersburg in 1929. They did have a lot of the footage, I guess, or little monuments or whatever, and made into the movie of from the Soviet Union. They did have the stereotypical Soviet bloodlines, and everybody freezing and starving, which was true of the Stalinistic era. And everybody wondering about if Anastasia lived, because back then, yes, there was the conspiracy theory that Anastasia did survive, and it was taboo in Soviet Union, especially I know at the time of 1928, which would be the era of the Russian Soviet dictator of Joseph Stalin, Hitler's arch enemy. So I'm gonna leave. So, but yet they have in one of the weird scenes is of one KGB officer manning a whole city, which is like, wow. I wonder if this is like a reference as a just a bit of joke, because it felt like the Gestapo was really not didn't have a great big membership, but were more depended on and felt like of the Gestapo informants. But yeah, the same thing happened in the KGB. I think they would be probably had more members of the KGB. Maybe I don't study a lot of the Soviet Union. But I kind of thought that was kind of a funny little reference to Gestapo. I saw that. Under uh, undermanned, just not really big membership in the Gestapo in Third Reich and Hitler's Nazi Germany, dependent more on word of mouth of informants. Interesting thing, but I'm gonna leave off on part 3 and go on to part 4 here by saying like and subscribe to this channel of Lisa State and Hitler Obsessed. Like this video or any videos on Lisa State and Hitler Obsessed. Leave a comment on this video or any videos on my YouTube channels Hitler Obsessed and Lisa Stayed here. Donate to my Patreon and my subscribe store. Go to bitchute.com and visit my BitChute channel of Lisa Maria Stayed. Make sure also to troll Brian Rowe. Do that for me, please. I know he ran away from YouTube probably because it was hateful stuff, but please go troll him. Maybe not. I think he is really a skinhead, maybe. Do it with caution. That's my advice. Don't do that. Don't bully anyone. I won't support them. If you do that, I'm not gonna make sure you're gone off this platform. But send me a friend request here on Facebook too. My Facebook account of Lisa Stayed. And you can send me comments if you want on Facebook too. Without a friend request to Facebook. No catcalling, no insults, and keep everything appropriate and a good manner. Nice etiquette, You can ask questions on any of my videos here on YouTube or on Facebook. Also, or any video suggestions. I definitely want to hear more suggestions also. I want to know, do you guys like all the Hitler and Nazi stuff or the other videos? Or the edited one, kind of like the cat one that I did last time? I want to know more so I can probably get an okay video.